I'm Nancy Landry. I'm First Assistant Secretary of State, and I'm running to be the 45th Secretary of State. A little bit of background information. I'm from Lafayette. I grew up in Lafayette. I was born on a naval base in Japan while my dad was serving in the Navy. But I grew up in Lafayette. I went to LSU. I went to LSU Law School and started a little family law practice, an award-winning family law practice in Lafayette, and did that for some years before I decided to run for the legislature. And I served 3 terms as a state representative from Lafayette. And at the end of my 3rd term, when I was term limited and couldn't run anymore, Secretary Ardwant appointed me as First Assistant Secretary of State.
And tell us, what's involved in that type of a job?
The First Assistant is, as it sounds like, assists the Secretary of State in his day-to-day functions, but the First Assistant has the same duties and powers that the Secretary has and acts as the Secretary when he's out of the state. So I've been conducting and administering elections for the past 4 years, and I'm the only candidate who has the experience administering and conducting elections, and the only candidate who will be ready to launch right into the 2024 presidential election.
Tell us, why did you decide to run for Secretary of State?
Well, Jerry, in Louisiana, we do elections really well. We're actually ranked number 6 in the nation by the Heritage Foundation for election integrity, and the electoral project ranked us, electoral integrity project ranked us 1st in the South. And the legislative auditor gave us really high marks when they conducted an audit of our policies and procedures. But I want us to be number 1. So I have a plan to bring us to number 1 in the nation in election integrity, and that's why I'm running.
What would be involved in to get to be number 1?
Well, the first thing, my main priority is that I want us to get a new election system, a voting system. We have an age system. It's almost 30 years old, and it's literally fallen apart. And so that's going to be my main priority, is to get us a new voting system. And that voting system will need to have a paper backup so that we can conduct post-election audits to verify the results.
What is your feeling regarding what happened after the 2020 election and what we've seen in other states with people denying election results?
Well, there's no doubt there were some irregularities, some troubling irregularities in other states, and I don't know if that would have changed the outcome of the election or not. But in Louisiana, we had safe, fair, and accurate elections. I do know that. So I don't know what happened in other states, but I know in Louisiana, we have checks and balances at every stage of the process. And so what happened in other states can't happen here in Louisiana. We have checks and balances in place, and we would know if there was any fraudulent activity on a widespread basis like that.
How does technology help you in that effort?
Well, we use technology for the efficiency and the accuracy of technology, but we verify everything. So we don't trust everything, we verify. And that's the backup right now. What we need and what I'd like to have as Secretary of State is also a paper backup, and so we can conduct a post-election audit with the paper backup, and that would bring us to number 1.
Tell us, in your feeling, why is, when people go to the ballot, they'll look at the governor and the lieutenant governor, but the other races sometimes are referred to as down ballot races. Why is it important for people to look at those races individually?
Well, every race is important, and every race affects people's lives, whether they realize it or not. And so it's very important to our government and our way of life to have election integrity, and the Secretary of State is in charge of that. And so it's very important to be informed about your vote, and to not just go in and vote for the president in a presidential election or the governor in a gubernatorial election, but also to get your sample ballot online. You can do that. We provide a way to do that, and ask your friends and neighbors if you don't know who's the best person, who's the best candidate, and that you find out a lot of information that way. I'm the best candidate in this race. I'm the right person for the job. I'm the only candidate with experience conducting elections.
How can people get more information?
I have a website, it's nancylandry.com, and you can find out more there or donate to my campaign if you want to support my campaign.